Hey guys, it's Austin Doc, and welcome back to another video. And let's start off with this review with, the Colossosaurs are still fighting off Verm, and we see Apath actually take off without Hero or 02, which was actually quite interesting and brought up a lot of questions in the beginning, but it gets explained towards the end. And as you can see, Apath is actually taking off, but we see now that Squad 13 is kind of running the show, how everything's going. They're doing maintenance basically, and we now start to see like 02 starting to bleed from something, and it keeps coming up what's going on, but it goes back to how the kids are now actually trying to make a farm to get their food going, but the kids really don't know much about harvesting, and they're kind of confused at what's going on. Now they're just in this state of what do we do, and they ask the question, do we use magma fuel? And Hero is just still like in this phase of being traumatized from what happened, and I'm happy that was put in here because I was afraid they were going to go and forget about it, like sometimes we see. But let me bring up a couple photos of that. Obviously we see the cut over here of 02, and going back to like with Hero, he's in shock because of 01 and what's going on with 02, and Ichigo actually wants to help him with 02, but Hero wants to take care of 02 by himself. And now we see that the 9 are in the belief that they need maintenance, and that's why they're not doing well, which is something to do with their psychological state, where they think they've been conditioned to do this thing over and over, and if they don't have it, it's kind of like an addiction for them. So it's quite interesting. I don't think they're actually dying. I think it's more in their head kind of thing, and they still believe in Papa, and the actual new Nana 07 still thinks Papa's around to kind of dictate everything. And we hear the phrase come back up, no one can swim in the same river twice, which is quite interesting because it's talking about everything else, but we see that 02 is still getting hurt. And on top of that, Hero's getting run down because he keeps trying to take care of her and focusing on 02 so much that the people are telling him like, hey man, you gotta take it easy. You can't keep focusing on both. I understand you want to help kind of thing. I thought it was quite interesting, but we see that Verm and the Colossosaurs are still fighting, and after we find out that Kokoro is pregnant and she can't pilot anymore, and she doesn't know what to do because 07, which I don't like her at all already, she kind of says you can get it aborted if you want to, and I'm like, nah, don't do that to us guys. But we see again 02 look up into the sky, and it's quite interesting. She keeps looking up to the sky, and we see the plants are actually dead. Then after Nana, she shows back up, and there was so many parasites actually. This is going to like the Dr. Franxx's little hidden area, about like over 20 million, yeah, 20 million parasites made. That was quite interesting. I don't think people actually picked that up. Now going to the bodies that were stored, that was quite interesting. Especially saw Naomi, and Naomi I'm going to talk about a little bit towards the end. I have actually a lot to say because people still think she's alive. Yeah, very low IQs to say the least. But anyways, we kind of see that a lot of these bodies that have the unfit parasites have been frozen, and most of the time it really just looks like a big graveyard that they've been preserving these bodies to kind of experiment on and learn from what is going on kind of thing. And that's kind of Dr. Franxx's hidden secret, and basically he told Nana and Hachi to become the new adults for the children. And Squad 13 finally reunites with Nana, which is actually honestly very beautiful. It warmed my heart. But we see that Hachi kind of tells the kids it's impossible to grow anything because of the mining, and after seeing the plans, Ichigo passes out, which I'm like, oh god, no. But let's get to the main focus. Now, Hero is focused way too much on 02 and ignores Goro, and basically he starts to discover the book and how basically the ending, how it is. And I know people are like, oh my god, you were wrong about the thing. No I wasn't, but I'll get towards that to the end. But going further about it, Hero kind of just talks about how it's not fair that 02 knew this all along and he never caught on, and I'm like, come on Hero, you kind of knew. But what my way I picked the book up, which is why I said the book isn't very accurate, it's fate. It's something they can get away from, but sometimes follow it. And then we actually see that 02's soul is still an Apath, hence why she keeps getting cut. And it's just kind of upsetting to see this all happen. Now we go to Goro and Hachi trying to find Mistletoe, which is basically contained soil before everything turned to the desert. So after Goro goes and talks to Squad 13 and he's telling them about this idea, then Hiro comes in and says, guys, I have to talk to you about something. And they're like, what? That Hiro tells them that I'm going to go to space to get 02. And everyone's confused, and he kind of describes that 02's still fighting Verm. And the Colossosaurus left a spaceship behind that he can use, and we see that 02's near Mars. Which, okay. But we see Hiro is literally willing to do anything to get 02 back. And we see Hiro walk out and Goro follow him, and this is where it starts to get really interesting. Hiro kind of snaps at them, and it's because Goro is talking about how Hiro only thinks about himself and never thinks about anyone else, how they feel, because everyone cares about him, and that Hiro is just willing to die to do anything. He's always marching to death. And Hiro, this is what I really got out of it, that Hiro really loves 02, and he's willing to do anything, and it's interesting. And after we cut to like the end, Goro kind of talks about how he spoke about that for himself, not everyone else, and he starts to talk about himself too, and it seems that he really cares about Hiro, and he doesn't want Hiro just to go march off, because they're family. That's what they are, Squad 13, and we hear the line, our lives just begun, again, and I'm like, okay, so we're hinting to a second season, this is why we're getting all this. But we see that Nana actually gets up from her wheelchair and comforts a kid, and that after Squad 13's actually going to go back up Hiro, and so do the 9, and that's what didn't really make me like this episode, was the 9, for some reason, they don't have a redeeming thing. I don't like that, I'm being honest, and it really turned me off. I'm going to be 100% with you guys, because they have done so much to make them a villain. Just to bully 02 all the time, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we're gonna go to space, we don't care about you, it's just so we can go die in space. And I'm just like, okay, where is this writing going? I don't know. This was a mixed bag of good and bad, but let's get to the storybook. Now the book. People can argue, yes, it was accurate, yes, it wasn't accurate, and truthfully, I don't think it was neither. I feel it was more inaccurate than anything, but come on, guys. It's actual fate. It's the fate of 02 and Hiro. It's foreshadowing, yes and no, because there's many things that don't add up and things that have been left out that don't make sense, and it's sad that people take something so simple and believe it's something, just like the Naomi thing. But the book is beautiful in a sense. It was a part of what 02 believed in, its fate, and the phrase that we can overcome any fate keeps coming up to my mind. And I love how people focus on the death flags, but they don't see stuff like that. They don't see Dr. Franxx talking about, especially that fate, it can't really stand up to the face of desire. And I'm very saddened because people don't actually see that. Like, come on guys, the director works hard enough, and especially the writers. But going on to Naomi, I'm being honest, if you really do think she's alive, you really need to rethink a lot of things, especially go read an actual good book, because I know someone's going to get very butthurt when I say that, but she's not alive, she's dead, she's preserved, just like the rest of them. If you thought she was alive from that, okay, let's go down the list. She was crushed, she was in Hiro's, like, literally in the middle of life and death thing. Why would she be alive? It literally will undermine the entire 02 and Hiro relationship. Like, come on. Hiro doesn't want to lose 02 because he lost Naomi. And she actually played a very good key point in the beginning, and just to have her back alive is stupid. And really bad writing, in my opinion. And this is where I keep saying, go pick a book up. Because if someone did that and put that in an actual book, they'd be laughed at. But my final thoughts with Naomi. If you do want her alive, good for you, but do realize that it doesn't make sense story-wise, and it would completely undermine the entire 02 and Hiro relationship, because Hiro lost Naomi, and she played a very good part of his entire thing of, I don't want to lose another partner, I don't want to lose anyone, I don't want to lose someone I care about. And to have her come back is kind of a slap in the face to him, I guess, but Anyways, final thoughts of this episode. It wasn't bad, nor was it really good, but it was there to set up a lot of stuff, especially for another season. I know people are getting, oh my god, are you saying another season? Yes. Think about it. They're not gonna, I get they're rushing this, but it's more of to set up for the next one. And what do you think is gonna happen in the end? Well, what I think personally, take it with a grain of salt, because people take my words as facts. Don't do that. It's my opinion. You have your own opinion. But I think it's going to end with Hero and 02 actually reunited, but Verm is going to finally show up to go to Earth, and it's going to be a space battle that's going to go back to Earth kind of thing. But that's my thoughts. Sorry guys for the delay with the review. There's someone that doesn't want to leave and doesn't want to shut up apparently, but I got you the video. That's what counts. I had the photos. I hope you do enjoy this video. If you did enjoy this video, smash this like button. If you are new here, subscribe because it's free. And thank you guys for the 900 subs. It means a whole lot. But yeah, guys, I'll see you later. This is Austin Doctor signing out. Peace.